What's up guys, Jivan back with another video, and today I'm going to be answering the questions that you sent in about divisional cups. Before we hop into it, please consider using code JivanTV if you've been liking the content, and if you want your questions answered in the next community video, be sure to join the Discord down below. I post in the announcement section when I'm doing one of these. Without further ado, let's hop into it. So first off, Weister was asking what shotgun I prefer and SMG or sniper. These are the loadouts that Ken and I have been rocking. We both carry Prime Shotgun and Hammer AR. In the third slot, one person carries Chrome Splash and the other person carries a sniper. And then we carry 2 sets of heals. If we don't find a sniper, then the person will just carry 3 sets of heals instead, or boogie bombs. Flux was wondering if he plays the placement cup with someone, can he play the divisional cups with somebody else? The way it's going to work throughout this season is you can switch teammates, but the only thing is you have to switch to somebody else that's in your same division. They can't be in a division higher or lower, they have to be in your division. So Rect was wondering if I have a plan for every game while playing the divisional cups. I mean, pretty much, like, the game is pretty repetitive. Like, we land at condo, and so we just try to win off spawn. If we win, we're gonna have all the loot we need off spawn, plus we'll have surge from the off spawn fight. So then we just get our metal up, brick up, wood up, and then go to zone. If we don't fight off spawn, then we try to rotate a little bit earlier because we know we need storm surge tags. So we get in some alpha positioning and get tags on people. And we don't really key too much this season because the placement is pretty crazy. So like, I don't know if that's what you mean by a plan, but that's kind of how we approach it. So in the elite division, you have to play Wednesday and Friday to make the finals on Saturday. And Teku was wondering if for the contender and challenger ones, do you have to play both? And the answer is no, they're both individual tourneys. Like on Wednesday, that's one tourney on its own. Friday is a whole separate thing. And then he was also wondering if with all the new like flying balloons around the map, they're going to be moving around the map to different locations. So he was wondering how I think that's going to affect how hot different drops are. And just in general, wherever the balloons are, I assume more people are going to land there. This season is going to be really weird with everything moving around. I guess we'll have to find out. I don't know. Slope was saying that he keeps getting keyed in divisional cups, so he's wondering how to counter keyers. The safest way, like if you don't want to fight, just make a ton of boxes. It'll just completely grief their game, and chances are like either you'll get the kills on them because they'll get a little too greedy and jump in your box, or the fight will go on for so long that a third party will come and shoot them and then you can dip out and just farm back your brick. Don't build your metal first though, or you're gonna grief yourself. But really, if you just see somebody keying, like, you just have to fight them. So Amp was playing the Contender Cup and wasn't really sure exactly how high you have to place to get up to the Challenger Cup. I was so confused by this at first too, but if you go to Fortnite Tracker, the website that has all the tournaments and leaderboards, go to the Contender Division, click your region, and go to Prize. That's where it says what you need to place to make it to the next division. It's different on every server. Like for EU, it was top 150 go from Contender to Challengers, but on NA West, it was top 50 go from Contender to Challengers. So double check your region and see what you got to place. So a lot of people are asking what playstyle you should have in divisional cups, like should you W key or should you play safe? In general, the pros are still going to W key, but it's most beneficial to just play safe. Like for example, in the Contender Cups, it's 1 point per kill and 65 for a win. And I saw some pros literally W keying like crazy their first game and dropping like 30 kill wins. But honestly, if you're worried about qualling, it's not worth risking W keying. The placement is so crazy that if you just play consistent, you should qual. Also, towards the end of the tourney, like if you have 20 minutes left and you have 2 games, you're not going to be able to play both of those games out. What Ken and I did the other day, and this worked so good, was literally just sit in a bush for the 20 minutes of the W key game. People W keyed that game so much to the point where it was a dead lobby, and we got like 25 points out of that game. Versus if we were W keying, we would only be getting 1 point per kill, and if we die before the placement, that W key game is worthless. So basically what I'm saying is the placement is so much more valuable than kills that W keying just really is never worth it. I'll tell you what though, at the end of that game when we almost needed to back out, that's when we started W keying and pushing kids just to like get extra placement points. It wasn't even for the kills. Like every placement we would get 2 more points. So if we wipe a duo, we get 2 kills, yeah, but we also get that placement too. Rambo was wondering if spray meta is still a thing. Honestly, like, I don't even know. I don't think so. For me personally, I feel like the spray meta ended when combat SMGs were taken out of the game. Yeah, there were still stingers and like people still spray, but there used to be SMGs back in the day and people would spray with those too. It's not like you're not gonna get lobby focused anymore. That's always gonna be a thing. But I feel like most duos don't even rock SMG. They'll rock a sniper instead, which in my opinion is way scarier. Like, I got quickscoped across the map from Ghost Blake for peeking for 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds. I'm telling you, bro, snipers are spooky. I feel like they brought out the snipers for Halloween just to like give us all jump scares. Azjab was wondering if the divisional cups lower than elite give PR. They just added the PR on Fortnite Tracker, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. Elite gives the most PR and then it just goes down from there. But honestly, all of them give a pretty decent amount. John was wondering what is the best way we can prepare for a tournament. I feel like in general, the only way to prepare for a tournament is by scrimming, because then you're getting endgame practice and you're really practicing in a competitive setting. But like, just work on your mechanics, practice 1v1s, 2v2s, and then scrim and you should be good. Linky was wondering how he finds a really good duo when he doesn't have much tourney experience, even though he's very mechanical. Truth be told, if you don't have tourney experience, you're not going to find a good duo. Like, even if you're mechanical, you need tourney experience to really have good game sense and make good decisions, which is why people with more tourney experience, more PR, usually aren't looking to pick up somebody who doesn't have PR. So my advice is find somebody else that's in Contender that you can grow with and that you vibe with, and you guys will learn the game. There's also solo tourneys where you can get PR as well, and especially with divisional cups and starting out in Contender, like there's PR there too. So just grind the game, grind with somebody that's at your same experience level, and you'll get there. We all got to start at the bottom and work our way up, even if we're mechanical demons. Seb was asking if it's worth changing your drop spot for guaranteed Chrome Splash. Probably not, but on your rotates, try to make sure you rotate through a Chrome Splash area so that you can get some. I feel like 80% of the time you're going to get Chrome Splash out of chests, but just know there's like so many random places that have Chrome Splash, not just those big areas. And even if you don't get Chrome Splash, it's not the end of the world. It's not broken to the point where you need it. So stick with what you're doing. If you're surviving off spawn and getting good loot, don't worry about it. So Proverb said that he kept rotating to the dead side in the mid game, but like there were still a ton of players there. So then they would get cracked on their rotate and pushed and die. So he's wondering how he can practice mid game. First of all, there are scrims that don't have fourth zone rules. Like if you go into Manu's scrims, if you're on NA East, try out his scrims because it's no fighting till Surge, but usually Surge pops on the second zone, so it's pretty good practice. But when it comes to getting cracked in the mid game, like you gotta just make sure you have your awareness up. Get to a place on your rotates where you can scout around you, constantly be looking around. That way you know when somebody's around you and you don't get surprised. And the more rotates you do, you'll start to learn like where people will generally be. Pay attention to POIs around you. Like a lot of people will rotate out of the POIs, and it's really all about timing. Mid-game's really all about awareness, timing, knowing when people are rotating around you, and doing it as quick as possible. Hedgie was wondering, how do you improve with your off-spawn fighting? When it comes to tournaments, off-spawn fighting is really about 1, having really good knowledge of your location you're landing at, and then 2, being really good at box fights. You're typically not going to have a lot of mats in off-spawn fighting because you want to initiate that fight as soon as you get good loot. So it comes down to knowing how to sneak up on your enemy and catch them off guard, and then knowing how to finish a box fight. And then most of all, having patience. Sebasvi was wondering how he can get better at fighting with his duo. He felt like he kept dying first in the fights, and they were really struggling to make endgames. You could try doing a lot of 2v2 practice in creative. One of the biggest things for improving your duo fighting is, ironically, improving your solo fighting. Getting to the point where you understand how to play angles in a fight, how to protect yourself, how to avoid getting boxed. All that stuff is super key. And my biggest advice for fighting as a duo is play like you're trying to survive for your duo. Never push too far on an enemy. Don't give the enemy a chance to box you. Pressure them heavy, but don't get too close to the point where they can finish you. If you both play like that and pressure a lot, but don't get too close, you're going to win a lot more fights. This will draw out the fight a little bit longer, but it'll help you survive more. If you guys are going to get up close and try to finish the fight, you need to be together. If you're not together, or if you don't time it right, then you're going to end up dying, most likely. Cam asked if it's worth trying to get from challengers to elite this season. You got to figure that out for yourself. Me personally, I'm playing EU, NA West, and NA East because honestly, I think it's fun trying to get from contender to challengers and then challengers to elite. I think that grind process is fun and it kind of puts you up against other people your skill level so you can improve in that way. The odds of getting earnings this season are kind of low, I'm not going to lie, especially because you have to grind to elite, and then from elite you have to grind to finals, and then in finals that's where you get the earnings. earnings. It's a big old process, but I think it's pretty fun, and if something's fun in my eyes, I'd say go for it. I hope this video helps you guys out. Let me know in the comments of future videos if you qualified to like challengers or elite. I want to know. Stay tuned in the Discord for the future Q&As. I'll be streaming all the tourneys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.